Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope everybody is doing great and having a great day. So currently Bitcoin is up around 1%, sliding sideways, which is great because it hit its all-time high yesterday. So it is nice to see that the price hasn't crashed down unlike some other coins. Ethereum is currently up 9% to $255 a coin, which is spectacular if you are holding Ethereum. Ripple sits around 18 cents at the moment and is currently up around 3%, which is a healthy little jump. And sadly, Bitcoin Cash, this has not stopped falling and sits at around 209 a coin and is currently down 14% in the last 24 hours. Like I said before, I think it'll hit somewhere in the 100s and then it might pop back up, but this seems to be a losing battle until the price gets too low that people just kind of can't ignore it anymore and they kind of go, okay, it's really low, we should just buy into it. So someone in the comment section wrote this yesterday, and I am sorry that I don't know your name or I have forgotten the username. But I don't know how I missed this. This happened about a week ago. This completely skipped my entire radar, and I'm really sad that it did. So this is actually directly from Ripple.com. So the Ripple.com has said that the Federal Reserve Task Force has said that Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. That is already it's not a red flag. What's the opposite of that? Why do I always forget these things? This is a good sign. I can't remember what the opposite of red flag is, but this is something, like I said before, there are major people who will be using Ripple, and this is kind of a signal that this is starting or is already happening. So this is a report from its Faster Payments Task Force, whose main goal is, as you might have guessed, is to find quicker ways to initiate quicker payments within the US and for cross-border payments. This task force was apparently created in 2015 when the Federal Reserve felt it needed a way to modernize American payment infrastructure. I think that goes for how much of the world works at the moment because everything is incredibly slow. I'm not exactly sure how we're in 2017 and things are still moving as slow as they are today. So at the moment, this initiative has around 320 stakeholders, most of which are banks, regulators, and tech companies, which is kind of saw that one coming. So, and I quote, this is directly from Ripple.com. One of the task force first achievements was to establish a set of effective criteria for faster payments. This served as a long-term target for new solutions, defining the capabilities needed to meet the market demands of 2020 and beyond. This framework includes 36 criteria grouped into 6 categories: speed, efficiency, safety and security, legal, governance, and ubiquity, with over 100 detailed benchmarks for each. End quote. So 2020 is a really big thing. I feel like I am missing out on something. There's so many things when all the analysts talk about new prices, when other things are talking about with governments and all these other things. 2020 is a date that's constantly popping up. If you guys know, like literally in the comment section, if you can tell me what 2020 is about, there's so many things. Like everyone keeps talking about 2020 as the year when things will get better, when things will improve, when things are moving to the next level. I don't know. Maybe it's just a number. Maybe it's, the year 2000 for those who are seasoned and old enough to remember it. I remember Y2K, and that was a really big thing. The year 2000, I guess, was significant as well because it was, kind of a milestone. But maybe 2020 is something that but yeah, continuing on, whatever. They go on to say that, as I've said before, sending money abroad is an absolute pain. If you've ever sent money from one country to another, you probably know this. This is pretty big thing for people who are from New York. A lot of people have family members in other countries, and it can take up to 2 to 4 business days. And it's kind of weird that it takes so long when all you're sending are 1 and 0s on a screen. I remember thinking when I was younger, of course, that, when you're sending cross-border payments or sending payments anywhere, that it shouldn't take 2 to 4 business days. You assume I can send a text on my phone to someone else on the other side of the world and it gets to them automatically. It's the same exact thing. You can send a 5-page email to someone and it gets to them quicker than a normal bank transfer. So this is kind of one of the things that Ripple and other similar currencies, but Ripple, like I said before, is the one that's kind of standing out in front because of their team. So this is what they pretty much plan on fixing or solving, and this is their thing. So apparently during this time, the Fed received 22 different proposals for making payments quicker. 16 of them apparently have passed the test, but Ripple seems to be the one that has stood out the one and in the front, because this is their article and this is they clearly wrote about, their success. From the assessment that was given, they state that Ripple helps to solve the 2 to 4 business day payment problem, and it brings a new level of transparency because of all payments being able to be seen on the blockchain and the ledger, which is a really big thing as we go along into the future. Everything seems to be about being able to see what other transactions have happened, what other people have done. And I mean, if banks already do this now, you can only assume that they would have found something that would help them continue this. I don't want to say invasive, but if you are sending money from one side of the world to another, or even just across the country, you're going to need some type of who did this, how did this happen, especially when it comes to banking establishments. The article kind of just continues on going on with them patting themselves in the back, give or take. They say, they're happy with the decision and how far they've come, and they believe that their tech will only improve banks and intercontinental payments, which I mean is... Guys, I've said it before. I've seen a lot of things, and when it comes to Ripple, like I say, I watch a lot of things about them. I watch news reports. I see who they talk to in the news, and I see exactly how they talk. Most other not coin companies, but crypto, enterprises, what have you, when they give announcements or when they talk to other people on the news, it's usually someone who like with a t-shirt that is wearing the name of the company, and they go on to explain, yeah, we're great, we do this, yeah, we plan on doing this, and they kind of stumble upon themselves as they're talking to these people. But the people at Ripple are not like that. They constantly bring it over and over and over, and this is why I'm constantly on everyone's back telling them to invest in Ripple, especially when the price was below 1 cent. I saw this all coming. Around the time when the price was 1 cent, there was I don't know if you guys remember, there was the Winklevoss twins. They had what was it? It wasn't a meeting, but it was in front of some important chair. And the entire point was, I think they were trying to get their ETF started, or one of the other things that they were trying to get started with the stock market, whatever, because they're in New York, they need tons of regulation. So they were at this meeting, and they sat there, in their nice suits and ties with their hands folded, and they looked very, solemn and humble and stuff like that. And the entire point was, I think it was about the legality of these cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and all these other things. I think that it went on for about an hour, and I remember when this thing was done, it was seen as like a relatively positive thing, because the people who they were talking to didn't outright say that we're going to ban these things. This was about 2 years ago. I remember watching it. It was on the internet. It was a really big thing. Everyone was like, you got to watch this, because this is pretty much the future of cryptocurrencies. The prices were still pretty low back then. As you can see, the prices are kind of crazy right now. And I remember there's a certain part that sticks out in my head. I will try my hardest to find this interview. I don't even remember what it was called, the date that it was on. But there was a point where they're talking to these people who are in front of them. There's tons of people in the back who are like taking photos and snapping, whatever for the press. And at the end of it, there's one guy who's talking about, he goes, I don't really see Bitcoin as a problem, but I don't see it as being something that is 100% viable in the market right now because of all the price fluctuations, et cetera, et cetera. I think that there's a better way out there. Other people on the panel continue talking, and then right at the end of this entire speech, before everyone, is pretty much told in a nice way to get out and go home, this one guy talks into the mic. He goes, yeah, this is, I think this is great. I think we're definitely going to be moving forward on this. And, I don't think Bitcoin is also the answer, but everyone should definitely probably look into Ripple. And then he literally they all stand up and kind of walk away at the exact same time, and everyone's like shaking hands. You've seen normal like press things. And I don't know how many people caught that. And it definitely hit me in my ear. That was the moment that I started talking to other people and friends and stuff like that about Ripple. Because it was this little sly remark, and like no one else seemed to have picked it up in the room, and they kind of just all, okay, we agree. And they all shook hands. Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. The Winklevoss twins say, yeah, this was definitely a great success. And I was like, yeah, okay. He threw that in as if it was nothing. He was one of the people who was there to hear about these cryptocurrencies, because apparently everyone on the board was trying to decide how to properly regulate these things within New York. So they had never heard about them. They were all brand new to this. But this one guy just happens to go, yeah, maybe everybody should just go with Ripple instead. and then stands up. That to me is like I always say, people signal each other in a certain way. And if you don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, how have you heard the word Ripple? How do you know what Ripple does? And why are you then, proclaiming that it is this great thing in front of all these people and in front of the world for millions of people to see? So at the end of the article, Ripple.com, they go on to state again more. It's actually like 5 paragraphs of them kind of patting themselves on the back and saying how awesome they are. And this is at the very end of it, and I quote, "It has been a tremendous honor to participate in the task force and serve on the steering committee. Ripple would like to extend a sincere thanks to the Federal Reserve for supporting this effort and the task force for its commitment and helpful input on our proposal. We are eager to see the future of payments come to life," end quote. I don't know how much clearer I can make it, guys, at this point. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Something big is going to happen with Ripple. I don't know if it's going to happen now. I don't know if it's going to happen in 2020, but something is definitely brewing with them. They have tons of banks behind them. They apparently have tons of tech companies and major stockholders and regulators with them as well. Like I said, the guy who just said that thing at the end of the meeting. Something big is going to happen with this. I don't know when, but this is usually why I keep saying that Ripple will eventually hit $1. I don't think it has anything to do. I think that when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because we're not in a normal banking market, like we're not tied to stocks and bonds and stuff like that, I think everything is just a mental barrier at this point, and it comes down to numbers. When Ripple was less than 1 cent, I said all it has to do is hit 1 cent and the price will start to go up. It hit 1 cent, and then within the next couple of weeks, I think it hit almost 40 cents. That was one barrier. So now where it is now, it's floating between anywhere from 14, 18 to 20 something cents, back and forth, going back and forth. I think the next mental barrier is definitely $1. And then once it hits $1, I do not see $10 being far off. I know other people have said, that'll make its market cap 10 trillion, et cetera, what have you. Guys, we're looking at a Bitcoin that is now $3,250 when it was less than a penny 8 years ago. These things aren't following any type of traditional mindset. These things will continue to rise like this. This is why so many people are saying that Bitcoin could possibly hit 5,000 by the end of the year. None of this makes any sense to us, and I don't think it's supposed to, because this is something completely new that we've never seen before. It's great that we are in it at this time and we're seeing the evolution of these things, but it's all about mental barriers at this point. Once Bitcoin hits 5,000, 6,000 isn't far off. People won't say, oh, it'll never hit 6,000. When it hit 2,000, people were like 3,000 not far off. It hit 3,200. You can see the articles. People are talking about, when is 4,000 going to hit? It's just kind of, stepping forward over and over and over. As these things are mined more and used more and hoarded more, the prices will continue to only go up. Sorry for making such a long video. I thought you guys needed to hear that, because I saw this and I saw the comment yesterday, and then I saw the article and I was like, how did I miss this? I think this is really important. I think it's something that we need to pay attention to. I'm not telling you to buy Ripple. Like I always say, guys, please do your own research, but this is definitely something that you should be paying attention to, because if the Federal Reserve is talking about and praising Ripple, that is major. That is literally like the king saying, please pay attention to this. I don't know what else to say on this matter. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend or your weekday whenever you might be listening to this. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and I will talk to you all soon. See you. Hey everyone, thank you very much again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys would like to help me and the channel, there are ways to do so in the description below. Thank you very much, and talk to you guys soon.